As a preliminary matter, this is Joyce Maturis, Chair of the Newbury Council of Aging Board of Directors. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Evelyn Noyes,
Yes.
Jerry Dorr. Jerry?
Yes.
Thank you. Janine Cunningham,
Yes.
Sandy Small,
Yes.
and myself, yes. And for staff, Cindy, our director.
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning or good afternoon. This date of February 8th, 2021, open meeting of the Council on Aging Board of Directors is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020. Due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. And as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely. So as long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. For this meeting, Council of Aging Board of Directors is convening by telephone, conference, video, conference via Zoom as posted on the agenda. Sections of towns' websites identifying how the public may join. You may join us by going to http://zoom.us and enter meeting ID 869-5923-9727. Passcode 339991, or you can phone in by calling 1-929-205-6099. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that attendees are participating by video and or telephone conference. The materials that were provided to the members were last month's minutes, which were sent electronically. Applicants or their representatives may be called upon to speak, and if it needed, share information to the screen. Please state intention after you have been called. The meeting business ground rules. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I, the chair, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone, *6 to toggle mute, unmute, or computer mute button when you are not speaking. Please use earbuds, earphones with tablets/cell phones. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. Please be aware that video participants can see you and that you should take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. For any response, please wait until the chair gives the floor to you and state your name before speaking. Board/committee members should be called upon in first name alphabetic order to ease the process. If board members wish to engage in familiar conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Public comment. After the board members have spoken, the chair will afford the public comment as follows. I skipped this the last time because we don't seem to have anybody here that's in the audience or listening in. So I hope it's okay, and I'm going to do it again. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. Additional agenda items will be called upon and handled in the same manner. So there is the end of that. And let's call the meeting to order. And the first thing that's going to be on the agenda is to review and approve the January 25th minutes. And when you've done that, I would be happy to hear a motion.
I'll make a motion. We accept the minutes as presented.
Second it.
Any questions or conversation or discussion on the minutes? Let's start with Jerry. Did you have any questions, Jerry? I don't think anybody has any.
I'm approved. I approve.
Okay.
I have
All
no
right.
discussion.
I'm just gonna take a vote to approve the minutes. So let's start with Jerry Dorr. Yes,
Yes.
she already approved. Sandy,
Yes.
Janine,
Yes.
and Evelyn,
Yes.
and Joyce. So the minutes for the 25th have been approved. Review of the COA expenses since the last meeting. Cindy, if you'd like to give us that information.
Sure. So the first bit I have for expenses was out of our general department expense account. The first one, and Sandy, if you have trouble with any of these, just let me know. I can shoot you an email with a list. The first one was for Jim Long. He's our new van driver. He had an $8 reimbursement request. He had to get his own driving record for his application for the position, and Tracy let me know that I could go ahead and reimburse him for that. So that's $8 there. The next charge was $55.08 to Amazon, and that was for some general office supplies. We got some more labels for our next mailing labels for our next newsletter that we're sending out. We got some notebooks, general kind of things like that. And the last thing is we $49.28 for new windshield wipers for the van. Before Alice left, she let me know that those were pretty bad. And when Jim looked at them, he said, yeah, if we could get some new ones. So I went through DPW and they got them for me and installed them. So that was $49.28. The next group of expenses all are coming out of our COVID relief grant from Elder Services. So the first one is for $60. That is to Christina Howe for a chair yoga program. You might recognize her name. She also does the yoga programs for the library. The next one is for $14.99 from Amazon. That is for Valentine's that we are putting in the grab and go, which is next week after Valentine's Day, but still, we just want to send a little card to the people who are getting the grab and go. Then I have $24.21 also for Amazon. And that was for chocolates that we are putting in the grab and go with that Valentine card. And then I had told you the last meeting, I had ordered those heart-shaped stress relievers to go in as a gift as well. And then the other two things are virtual programs. The first one is for $31.25. That is paid to the town of Billerica Council on Aging. They're the ones who coordinated the Neil Diamond program. There were 16 of us who went in together on that. So it brought our price down to just $31.25, which was pretty good. And then the other one is for a meditation program. This is $100, and this was to Roots to Wings Yoga and Healing Center. So they did a meditation and a chair yoga all in one program for us. So those are the expenses.
Any questions on any of the expenses? Yes, go ahead, Janine.
Is, this is to Cindy, is the chair yoga and meditation, are they going to be on Channel 9 or where can they, okay.
Yep, they are going to be on Channel 9. So Karen is working on getting out the word on how and when you can see it. We worked with Ethan with the cable channel because we want to have specific times. Initially, when we were trying to get everything up, it was kind of helter-skelter and it was where we could fit it or where he could fit it. So we're working with him to say Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. there's programming from the Council on Aging. Saturday at 9 a.m. there's programming from the Council on Aging. We're going to get to a point where we're actually going to have like a grid in the newsletter to tell you what is on when. But right now we're still in process. Hopefully for the next newsletter, we'll be able to give people specifics.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. And now it is the update from the director.
All right, so the first thing I wanted to mention was we received another donation, and this was part of Mike Doyle's Santa Claus Zoom meetings that he was doing. This was for $50 from Michael and Melissa Stanton. They donated $50. We're very pleased that he was able to do that for them. So made a big difference for their children. So that was the one donation that we had received since our last meeting. And then as far as the rest of the updates, we are getting ready to send out our March-April newsletter at the end of this month. I want to get that to the printer so that it will be back here in time for us to send it out before March 1st. So we are feverishly working on that. I did ask to increase by 2 pages this month. Part of that reasoning was because the gentleman who runs the printing company added another ad, which was a pretty significant amount of space. It was going to take off a lot of our content. So I requested to do 2 more pages. So we're working on getting a good amount of outreach information out there. Janet put together a lot of resources for people. Karen's working on programming and explaining what kind of programs there are out there that we are doing on Channel 9. Bunch of information is going to go in there. So that again is scheduled to go out before March. And then we'll also put it on the website and get it out on social media. So I had mentioned those 3 programs and the expenses, and those are the new programs that we're working on getting on Channel 9. Our next grab and go is scheduled for next week, the 17th. We reserved 35 meals, and so far I have 31 people who have reserved a meal. So we've still got 4 available. Not a bad idea to have a couple on hand the day of. The last time we did it, we had 2 people say, oh, I thought I ordered 2. And so it's not a bad idea to have a couple extra. We did the Heart Healthy Nutrition Zoom program. Joyce, you were on that. There was
Yes.
a couple of people that had joined. It wasn't a huge, I mean, that went out in the last newsletter. We tried to get the word out there. I don't know as though Zoom, the more we do it, hopefully it'll grow. And the more people will become comfortable with Zoom. I also want to try and figure out a way to teach people how to use Zoom so that they'll be more comfortable doing programs like this. So we're working on that as well. But I mean, I think we had maybe 6 people on that call. Would you say, Joyce? It wasn't huge, but informative.
Yes, very informative. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot.
Okay, good. So if we can, we'll try and do more things like that.
Yes.
That was put on by Elder Services of Merrimack Valley and the North Shore. So I didn't have an opportunity to record it. If we set it up and had the Zoom, it would have automatically recorded and I could have put it on Channel 9. But because it was their program, I couldn't do it that way. Karen is feverishly working on our volunteer program. She let me know that for the month of January, we had 42 hours of volunteer hours given by 13 volunteers. Then we also had our handful of meat drivers. So starting to sort of get back into a groove. We have our library volunteers. They're delivering the books on Fridays. We have few people who have been delivering those red backpacks. I think I might have mentioned them in the last meeting. They are from the Massachusetts Department of Disability, I believe. They're emergency backpacks. More of a starter kit, I would say. You really need to personalize them. But they have a bunch of things in there: flashlight, a glow stick, emergency blanket, a poncho. There's all kinds of different things in there. So we're reaching out to people we were given 48 of them. So we're reaching out to people to try and get them to as many people as we can. And we're utilizing volunteers to deliver those. And that's been very helpful, having the volunteers do that. And then I would say to you, the bulk of our time of late, at least over the past 2 weeks, has been on COVID and the vaccine clinics and all of the information coming out from the governor, and then them directing everybody to the Council on Aging. So we're getting a plethora of calls here, but now hopefully we are going to be having local vaccine clinics sooner than later. I know Newbury has teamed up with 8 other local communities. They are still working on their first responder clinics to get those people vaccinated, and then they're going to open up to the 75 plus. They had a couple of openings this past weekend. We actually got a handful of Newbury seniors in there. We are keeping a wait list to, anyone who calls that would like to have assistance getting on that list or would like us to register them. We're happy to do that. It's just a matter of vaccine supply at this point. So as soon as and they keep requesting it, it's not like, they're doing their best to get it going. It's just a matter of there's just not enough supply. So once they get their supply allotted to them, Deb Rogers from the Board of Health will let me know that I can go ahead and announce and get people registered, and super easy process to register at the West Newbury location. And then they will get them all set up for their second appointment before they leave there. So it's a pretty swift process once you get in and get going. You go in, you check in, you answer the questions that we would ask on the registration anyways, get your injection, you have your 15-minute wait period, sign up for your next appointment, and you're on your way. So it's a pretty swift process there. Joyce, when you went for yours, did they give you your next appointment?
They did.
I think that's pretty much what they're doing at all of these locations, is making sure people have their next appointment.
And they even put a piece of paper there with the time that I could leave.
Yes. Yep.
And by the time, and then somebody came in to make the appointment while I was waiting for
Good.
those 15 minutes. So it was very well handled.
Sounds very similar to West Newbury. So I don't know, there may have other locations opening soon. Again, I think it all depends on the vaccine supply. But I would say we've talked to over 100 people. We're getting calls daily. We're getting voicemails when we're not here. So we're returning people's calls, making sure they understand that they will get their vaccine. It's not that they've missed their window, because I know it started on February 1st, but they will get it. It's just a matter of, as soon as the vaccine supply comes in, we're going to call them. So we're keeping a pretty solid list here. And that's pretty much the update for now.
Right. I've got something to bring to the table on that. We should explain about the grant and what the plan is, because the written response, I think there's a date coming up, the 12th. And I suggested to Cindy that this is a very short time. And right now, as you can tell, she's very busy with the COVID. So I didn't know if it was a good time for us to be taking her time away from her daily job. Did you want to comment on that, Cindy?
I felt kind of the same way, that our focus right now is on these COVID vaccines and being able to answer questions and reassure people. It's not, I will tell you, they're not quick phone calls. People have a lot of questions and we're trying to reassure. So it's not a quick, hey, give me your name and number. Okay, bye. You know, it can be a lengthy phone call. So it is taking a lot of our time, which is fine. We're more than happy to do it, but I'm just concerned about diverting attention to try and figure out, you know, this being the first time I would apply for a grant. But if you want me to put something quick together, I can do that. I can't guarantee, you know, that we would get the
Go
funding.
ahead, Sandy.
I was just wondering, Cindy, did you happen to speak or do any conversation about grants with Tracy and a joint person?
So Tracy directed me to, she sent me an email with who I could reach out to. She said Newbury is too small to have a grant writer, but she sent me in the direction of someone. But I also was talking to the new director in Rowley, who does have grant writing experience. So I said to her, I might be picking your brain. There's a couple of other directors that have had a lot of experience that I can always, you know, reach out to them for some assistance with how to get the process done.
Okay, thank you.
We also had a meeting with the Friends, and it's been a long time since there's been a meeting with the Friends, and that was something, Cindy, I want you to know that Maggie would give a report of the meeting with the Friends. So briefly, if you want to just speak upon that.
Yeah, so sorry, I appreciate you saying that because I totally forgot to add that to this. So we did do a Zoom meeting the other morning, more or less to be introduced to each other. I've been here since the middle of October and I hadn't really met them yet. I met Monica in the parking lot one day when I was going to my car, and then talked with Deb Kennedy once on the phone. But it was nice to get sort of face to face to see what exactly they do. They are happy, very happy to support us. They do need, they need some rejuvenation, I think, and they need people to join. So what we told them was we can put something in our newsletter. So I asked for Deb to sort of do a little write-up that we can put in the newsletter and say, hey, here's what the Friends do. Here's what they're all about. Here's how you can help and get involved. Whether it be by donations or joining the board itself. So they are 3 people that are very busy people working full time, and they don't have, you know, it's hard for them to be able to, that's why we did our meeting at 7 in the morning to accommodate work schedules. So it's not something that is 100% of their focus, not that I would ever expect that, but they're pulled in a million different directions. So having a little bit more support where they could get more members would be great. So we want to help them get the word out. But I spoke with them about, for example, she just ordered new batteries for the AED devices here. I talked to her about ordering more File of Life little packets that we would have here. I put a bunch of those in gift bags that went out to Oak Ridge and to Quaker Hill, and they're going to go to Newbury Village, but I'd like to have a stash of them here to be able to give to people when they come in. I talked to her, these are little Newbury Council on Aging magnets. And I said, we're out of those. I don't know if that's something you want to order, because it was my understanding that the Friends had done that. And she made the point of a lot of people have stainless steel appliances now and maybe not to do a magnet. So I'm looking into a notepad, just something that we could give out to people that would have something about the Friends, have our phone number on it. And it's our fundraising arm. So we want to do our best to support them.
And another good thing is we have another meeting scheduled,
Yes.
and that hopefully now will continue monthly.
Monthly.
We
yes.
will be meeting with the Friends. And there is one of them that has some grant writing experience that Cindy asked if possible she could call upon her.
Yeah.
And she most generously, yeah, sure, most happily said yes. So there. So I think that's everything that else I wanted them to, the board to know about the Friends. And let's see, what else do I have here? The expansion committee. Oh, excuse me, go ahead.
Did you attend that Zoom meeting for the RFP?
We did.
And how did you find it?
I found that they said to ask for smaller grants. There's only 200,000, and you
Right.
know how particular, there's a lot of people looking for money. I was surprised there was not more people in attendance. But basically, I found it, I have never been involved in grants at all, so I found it very interesting. But and if it wasn't for the COVID, and I'm not, and I had asked Cindy to think about that, what she wanted to do. So I'm sure the next time, they've only got like 2 full-time people there and a part-time at the center. So hopefully next time, there is another grant she was looking at also.
Okay, so you're thinking you're not even going to apply for the grant. Is that what you're
I'm
saying?
leaving that entirely up to Cindy because it's her time. And we would call upon you also, because you're very knowledgeable about it, if she decides to go ahead and needs some expertise.
But you don't have that amount of time, right?
It has to, you have to have your response and your intent to bid in by February 12th.
Right, which is this week.
Right.
So here's the other thing, if I can just interject. One of the other directors, who is actually the chair or president, I'm not sure what her title is, of the Merrimack Valley Directors of Councils on Aging, she was asking if anyone would want to go in together.
I think that makes sense.
And I said yes. So I'll touch base with her. She is the director out of Drake-It, so I will touch base with her if it's something we can get more virtual programming. But I will say I do still have a good amount of funds from that ESMB COVID
Yeah,
relief
but
grant.
this is free money. You should never turn it
Yep.
down.
Yep. No, I know. I know.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Cindy, if you do need any help on that, you have Jerry also. She's written many grants in her years.
Yeah, you can call me. I'm retired. And I live in Florida. If I'm not here, I'm at the pool, so.
Okay.
feel free.
Yeah, I
Noted.
see your tan. Nice. Okay. So,
It's one more question, please.
oh, yes.
Who's this Geraldine that's on the? There's a
Oh,
person.
that's our selectman. Jerry,
Oh, okay. I know
I
who it
think
is.
you
Yeah,
met
the
her
one I
last
asked
week.
once before. Who are you? All
Yes.
right. That's her name.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I said hi to her. Oh, she's off of, she's,
I'm
has-
on mute. I'm on mute now. Hi.
Okay, hi,
I'm
Jerry.
just interested because I know all these issues or most of the issues will come before the select board. So I'm trying to do my homework, ladies.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. And one of the reasons I don't have my picture, I've got my roots have roots and my white hair.
Oh,
Because I'm a senior too. Actually, Joyce, my sister, you mentioned earlier, you have 3 ladies you want to get vaccinated. Over the weekend, my sister, who's over 75, she called the 211 and she got an appointment for yesterday down at Gillette. And supposedly they have like 20,000 appointments that they haven't used for this week. So if they have
Oh,
someone,
thank you for the information.
yeah,
That was actually Jerry, and she's not here in this Massachusetts right now.
okay.
And it's down south, and she's having a problem down there.
Okay,
But
good.
thank you.
All right.
They do have an abundance of appointments at Gillette, Fenway, and out in Springfield, I think. So just nothing close to us. But if people are willing to drive, though people that we're speaking to aren't even willing to drive to Danvers. So we don't even bother to offer Gillette and Fenway as an option.
So the other thing I was going to mention, that the expansion committee had a meeting with Cindy and two of our selectmen. And actually, I think there was two. And then also our,
Tracy.
yes, I'm trying to think of her title, but
Administrator, town
yeah,
administrator.
administrator, the administrator, and it went very well. I just want you to know that we're working on a new building or separate larger quarters. And there's nothing really to report yet, other than we're still in progress and meeting. Did anybody else want to add to that? Sandy?
I just wanted to ask Cindy, when you do contact Jeff, would you be copying the expansion committee on that email?
I didn't, but I can forward you what I sent him.
That would be great to be
Sure.
kept in the loop.
And Janine?
I was just curious, do we need to approve those minutes?
I don't know. I have them with me.
I think we decided before we didn't need to.
Okay. All
I don't
right, we'll
know.
just, we'll verify that perhaps with Tracy to be sure if this is something that we should be recording or voting on. I don't have an answer to that. So,
I initially only started it as a log so that the three of us would know where our heads were at as we moved along.
right,
So I don't know how official it really is.
I understand.
Well, I think it's important that you do that, so that, like you say, you know where you've been or where to start.
We
But
started in January and who knows what we said back then. I can't remember what I did yesterday,
right.
Well, you did a great job with these, and I'll just run it by Tracy
Okay.
and see what she has to say. Is there any other discussion before we adjourn?
I just wanted to ask about the survey.
Oh, yes, that's on the agenda. Thank you.
I hadn't, I should have checked in on it, but I haven't. I will before I send out the notes. I think there's a place I can go and see how many responses we've had and so forth.
Okay.
And I thought of it like 10 minutes before I came on here and I thought, I'm not doing that now.
Right. That's okay.
But I will
I
report
think it's,
on it.
I'm sorry, I overspoke on you. What did you say, Sandy?
I'm sorry, I will report on it.
Oh, thank you. I when I'm online, I run into it and it's comes right up. It's right there. So it's great. It's on our COA website or the Town of Newbury website. I've bumped into it a couple times, but
Good.
I've already filled it out, so I didn't do it again.
I-
Well,
We had a tool for tracking a lot of things, but I don't know, I'm not technical enough to know what tool is available to us, not only for the survey, but for how many people respond to our Zoom meetings, how many people respond to Channel 9. I realize that's probably not possible, but I wish it was.
I know, that would be nice.
Yeah, it would be good because then, you can figure out whether it's effective or worth it,
Right.
I can
Well-
have Susan.
Yeah, because Susan, she's still involved with the zoning board of adjustment, so she must at times be at the town hall.
Well, if I have trouble, she gave us a way to get in, which I hope I kept the notes. I think I have them. If not, I'll
Okay.
have to get a hold of her. But at the time, I can call her. I can also ask her if she knows about follow-up on Zoom, any way we can get feedback on that. There's Bill.
There's Bill.
You must be muted.
I don't think he's connected just yet.
Yeah.
Cindy rather. Oh God, now I forgot my question. Are you able to slowly but surely get email addresses from those so we can have some idea who does have a computer and who doesn't?
So as people are calling us regarding COVID, we're taking that opportunity to update My Senior Center, which is our database.
Yeah.
So we're asking people if they have an email address.
And so far, how's it been? What's the,
Half and half, I'd say, even if they have an email address, a lot of them weren't, like if they needed assistance registering for the COVID vaccine, they didn't have a way to print out. They wanted to, a lot of them, we would say, why don't you print out the confirmation that you get, and that's a great way for you to remember it. So you don't have to write it down on your calendar and maybe you got it wrong. You print it out. Oh, I don't have a way to print it out, or I have an email address, but I never check it. I don't know how to check it or whatever. So it's kind of half and half, but to resolve that, we've been telling people to come in here. We can mail them, depending on when their appointment is, or drop something off to them or whatever. But I would say, Evelyn, it's kind of hit or miss.
right? But going forward, whenever we talk to someone, maybe we can just ask for their email address and log it somewhere.
Yep, we have a spot for it right in My Senior Center to log it.
Okay.
Very good. Yes, Janine.
I just had a quick thought through my head. Are we offering rides to anybody who can't drive or whatever to get their COVID vaccines?
So we have NEAT drivers. So the Northern Essex Transport, we have maybe 4 drivers right now. We had one woman come in the other day. We hooked her up with NEAT because she specifically wants to drive people to their vaccines. I did hear back from DPW today. I requested a cordless fogger for the van. The one that we have has to be plugged in, which means in between trips, Jim would need to come back here, plug in the fogger outside of the school or wherever he can get a plug to do the fogging. So I will be getting a cordless one, so at least he can even pull over from wherever the last person is that he drops off to fog it real quick to be able to take the next person. So we're going to reach out to him today. My understanding is these vaccine clinics, a lot of them might take place on the weekends. So we just want to know what his availability is for that. But he would obviously be local. If I know we have one driver who's willing to drive into Boston for medical appointments. I don't know if she'd be willing to go to Fenway, but it's always, worth the ask. But that is our plan, is to, if people do not have transportation, we'll try and help them with either the van or NEAT drivers. And then we are also keeping a list of homebound residents who cannot get out.
Yeah.
And then Deb Rogers is she'll get to that point where they have a plan for whether it's, the nursing staff going out and doing home visits, or if there's going to be some other plan with the other towns. I don't know yet. So, but we are keeping a list of those people as well.
I saw a thing where the local, ambulance companies, EMTs, were actually going to those particular homes.
Yeah.
And we've got Cataldo here in town, well, Newburyport, but still, responding to our town. I mean, maybe, maybe
That might be what they'll do. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I just want to recognize Bill. Hi.
Hi, sorry I was late.
That's all right, Bill. I just want to give you an update on the survey. Nobody's contacted you yet because we haven't done anything positive yet, but we still will call upon you if needed.
Okay.
And we're ready to set the appointment for the next meeting unless, Bill, did you have any questions on anything?
No, no.
Okay.
I just have one other question, Joyce.
Sure.
I know Cindy's told me this before and I promised to write it down. How many newsletters do you send out?
Last month, we sent out just under 2,200.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let's adjourn. No, let's make a date for the next, wouldn't you believe it? Oh, there's my calendar. Oh. Be right with you. So that is going to bring us into March, and the third Monday in March is on the 15th, and it doesn't seem to be a holiday. So let's put that down as the COA Board of Directors will meet on March 15th.
Okay.
And it was nice to see you all.
You too.
Have a good month if I don't run into anyone.
Don't forget.
Bye
Well-
now.
Bye, Joyce.
Bye.
Oh, and one other
Bye
thing,
now.
can I just say before you adjourn? Karen would like you to just shoot her an email with her, with the volunteer hours, just so she can keep track of that,
Are you talking to me?
to everybody.
Oh, to everybody. Oh,
Yep.
I did mine this morning, so.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Bye.